I did. It's Hello, everyone, and you're very welcome to the Man United Agenda. We had a little day off yesterday, a little siesta. All they were talking about in the media was Marcus Rashford and bloody Barcelona. And you know what? We don't give a flying continentals about Barcelona here in the Man United Agenda. We only care about MUFC.
Rebel, listen, I'm not going to lie, yeah. Him turning up in a suit, man, I just thought, you know what? Slick bastard. You know what I mean? I looked at it, I thought, why don't we sign players like, they made the whole this big thing, all right, he came out of, I don't know where the phone box bit came from, to be fair, but no, I watched it. I got that. The more he's gone, the more, I know what it is. I know I have my reasons why I think he's gone. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, man. Seeing him out there, I watched it with us, man. I want him to go there and smash it, man. All of these motherfuckers who are doubting him. Yeah, the United fans, yes, but these outsiders and the innuendo and I want him to go there and murder it. Honestly, just not for the club. Yes, we can get our money, but for him himself, I want him to fuck it up over there, man. I want him to cause a chaos, bruv. So yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I don't have no hatred for him at all, bruv. There's players who have left the club. Like Martial, who I thought, oh, fuck off. Sancho can go and fuck. But Rashford, I'm watching Barcelona games. Yeah. And the game that he starts, I'm going to watch. I don't watch him, but I will. So, yeah, I'll put it out there now. Nothing but love for Marcus, boy.
Yeah, I second that. Don't speak for us, Rebel. If you think that's fine, this is why we're here to discuss things. We all got different opinions. I understand where there's a lot of anger towards him. I imagine he's at the peak of his powers. He can go there now and do something, and I'll be watching. I want him to do well, to represent, because he's the last English player to go and play for Barcelona was in 1989 when Gary Lineker left, and Gary Lineker scored something like 50 goals in 140 games or something, done all right, and he's played out on the right wing. So Gary Lineker, was a striker. Mexico 86 top goal scorer, scored 5 goals in 1990, and world class in my opinion. But when Cruyff turned up there, he put him out on the right wing because he was under Venables initially. He put him out on the right wing, and he still scored abundance of goals, but just wasn't the right fit for them towards the end. So not many English players have played out there for Barcelona. Barcelona have got a reputation for playing a beautiful game of football, and it's very attractive to anyone growing up. Whatever era you grew up, Barcelona have always been attractive. Good luck to Marcus Rashford. He's set his sights on them. He's targeted them. He wants to play for them. And maybe we see something special from him with all the football they have, the possession they have. And maybe he'd take it to a next level, which he couldn't at Man United for various reasons. But I think he's still a talent, and I wish him well.
Yeah, I suppose it's all, what he does outside the confines of Old Trafford is all well and good. But I suppose from a Man United channel perspective, it's basically stuff that's happening for another club. No matter how we feel personally about the player himself, I suppose he's no longer, well, technically speaking, he still is, but he's no longer playing for the jersey.
I get it.
You just mentioned their fan channel. We are a fan channel, and I think fans have a lot of responsibility to sort of back players, whatever they're going through. And we haven't, to be honest, as a fan base. I don't think we've driven him out of the club. And for some reason, we just don't like him. But have anyone ever really, can anyone prove evidence that he is lazy or is it, the only thing I can go on is, he went raving or the night in Northern Ireland or, the way he dresses. Sometimes his mannerism on the pitch didn't look like he wanted it 100%. And that's my assessment. I'm just looking and saying, you're not really up for this. You're not really showing enough or your body language is low. I've noticed that, but it's down to us as fans to push back people. I found over the last 10, 15 years, we're not a proper fan club anymore because we're not backing the players. If someone's on down on your luck, Fans are supposed to help them, lift them up. Not, I've seen it with Pogba, Harry Maguire, Rashford, players that had their head down, things weren't working out, and we've bashed them. And I just want to get that out of our club because that's not nice. It's not a way to support the player. And I just want us, if it happens again, we need to get behind players and get them level. Get them.
It will. Emma, look, there's players at the club who just can't be backed or won't be backed. So I understand what you said, that we should be this, this forever, this all loving incumbent, this all loving club. But let's be honest, bro, we got players in our team who we don't even want to see in a Man United shirt again. So I get what you're saying and I understand it, but when it cuts deep, man, it cuts deep, bro. I was saying the season hasn't started, and we will go into the season and it'll be all of this. But brother, as soon as the player starts doing exactly what we saw them doing last season, then our minds are going to be lost again. You know what I mean? So I get it, but it's going to be hard. It's hard, especially when it's your own team. You know what I mean? You want the best for your club, and sometimes these players aren't making us feel at our best.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, we need to say some howdies, Rebel.
We do, but before we do that, I do want to do a small bit of housekeeping because it does kind of lead in nicely to that. And that is, firstly, this one here. We are on the road to 4K subscribers. And if we get there before the start of the season, everyone that is subscribed to the channel will be with a chance to take away for themselves a Manchester United jersey with their name and number of choice on the back of it. We will decide how that will be drawn if we manage to get there. It might be just something as simple as having to comment on a specific video after a specific show, and that one of those people then from a wheel will get the jersey. But you have to get us there first. And the second one, for the price of probably 2 Freddos at this stage with inflation, you can join the Man United Agenda membership. And as well as the benefit of going on with Mr. B on the Friday nights, you could possibly find yourself winning a signed, authenticated Robson jersey. Now, that is a nice bit of kit. And as I said, it's probably the price of 2 Freddos at this stage. And on top of all that, you get your chance to have your say on Friday nights with Mr. B. So, what's not to love about that? And over to you in the comments now, Mr. B.
Right. Press the wrong button. Get my manners in the house. As we had a waffle solo. I'm sure it's a happy anniversary is what I'm supposed to be saying. We deserve better.
Sorry, happy birthday as well to Solo.
Oh, it's his birthday.
It was his birthday a couple of days ago, so happy birthday.
Belated, yeah. I fucked that one up. Sorry, bro. I missed it. But I know you had a good one, or you're gonna have a good one. I'm Titanium. I hope you're doing well. Links Red. We see you in the house. Who else is there? Stony, Troublemaker. I'll see you tomorrow.
Big up, Stony. Nice to see you.
Chat Sports. Evening, Asus. Scandalous that Ineos want each support to pay. Yeah, we'll discuss that. That's why Rebel's leading the show today.
Wow.
Links Red. I've heard conflicting reports about Watkins. We'll probably discuss that as well. We deserve better. As soon as Rashford stood up to his establishment, the knives were out. He is a man of high moral value. Andrew. Let's see what we've got here. Can United fans restore my faith this evening? I was sick to death of some of the horse poo I'm hearing on some channels. It depends. Our views tend to differ every now and then. Backing players my ass. I can't back crap. Oh, it started. The season hasn't even started yet.
You know what? It's people like Iron Titanium and Andrew who I'm reaching out to this season. I want to see a turnaround. I want to see more love in your heart, and all your energies go into sort of looking for contradictions and criticizing and saying pointing fingers. But when you point fingers, 3 pointing fingers are pointing at yourselves, guys. I want to see more love and more understanding for these footballers from you guys, especially.
If we don't hit 4K, it doesn't matter. As soon before the season, as soon as we hit 4K, it's not. We hoped it was going to be before the season, but we know our levels in it. It might be halfway through the season, you know. In which case, then come December, you know, there's no point in having a shirt sitting down there that we can't give away. So if we don't, then we'll probably give it away. We're going to be sitting down on a shirt until March, and then we're going to be giving away. It's like, it'll be like a retro shirt. What's the point? Yeah, I mean, we got Stephanie. We see you in the house, guys. If you are new to it, if you are watching on the Xverse or the Twitterverse, so jump over and give us a like and a subscribe. Sorry, Rebel, you're back in the house now, friend.
Right. Let's get into the spewage, is what I'm going to call this, that came out in the various social media and tabloid and papers and all these other wonderful people that have been filling our heads with absolute guff since the start of the season. But let's roll into it anyway. With tweet numero uno. So Fabrizio said there's a gentleman's agreement. This sounds very much like the Yakuza stuff again, doesn't it? Between Benjamin Sesko and RB Leipzig. The price tag for limited clubs can be reduced to the range of 70 to 80 million euros. That's about 60 million pounds, plus the add-ons in around the region of 5 to 7 million pounds. This is only valid for a few clubs considered special, whoever they may be, by Sesko. The second tweet then came out from the Daily Mail, Chris Wheeler. Man United rule out a move for unsettled Newcastle star and Alexander Isak after basically there was an article about him wanting to leave the Barcodes, but we don't have that money. And but what was interesting in that is that other expensive options such as Benjamin Sesko and Nick Jackson are also out as they struggle to afford a new striker after spending £130 million on Brian Mbeumo and Matthias Cunha. Now, Mr. Wheeler, we spent £40 million this year, so give your head a wobble, son, because we haven't paid all that 130 this year, so I don't know where you're getting that figure from. Then it takes us to David Ornstein. Now, he's usually fairly on point. Newcastle United are exploring a move for Benjamin Sesko in the event that Alexander Isak leaves. The 22-year-old forward is subject to long-standing NUFC interest and is a top target should Isak depart. The deal is challenging from a financial perspective. Given that Newcastle haven't signed anyone, I don't understand how it could be challenging. But that then takes us to Ben Jacobs' update of about 50 minutes ago, an hour ago now at this stage, where, according to him, Manchester United held fresh talks over Ollie Watkins, as revealed by Alex Cook earlier. Watkins is valued by £60 million, with Villa's preference to keep him and not sell him without a replacement. They retain an interest in Garnacho, which would be a separate deal. Now, here's the stuff that I want to talk to you about. We had this baloney that Manchester United couldn't afford these more expensive options. Sesko's £60 million. And all of a sudden, we can't afford him, but we can afford Ollie Watkins of the same value. Make that make sense, because I don't think they can get their story straight as to what exactly is Manchester United's financial position here. And I'm going to take you back to a comment that was said in the show 2 days ago, where we talked about manipulation of the books, where one player would be sold in one direction for stupid money and one player would be sold back in the other direction for stupid money, basically to massage the PSR figures of both clubs involved. Is these articles that we're seeing today laying the table of this financial massaging, for want of a better word, between United and Aston Villa?
I'm really not sure. As I said the other day, I don't see why we should be massaging anybody else's egos or their financial books, because you know, it's a dog eat dog world out here. If they can't spend money, leave them not to be able to spend money. Why are we helping them? You know, Watkins at 60 million, I think, is too much. We do need a striker, but I don't see why we would be getting into bed with Villa. That's the part of it that I just don't understand. They are rivals at the end of the day. I mean, we say we're rivals. Our rivals last season weren't Villa, but you know the way that we're a Europa. I would like to think that we're a Europa level team at best, and that's what Villa are. Villa are a Champions League team, so they're our direct rivals. To be fair, so I don't see why we should be helping them cook their books. I understand we might want Martinez and we might want Ollie Watkins, but does Watkins want Man United?
But see,
You know,
the trade-off,
go on.
The trade-off, Mr. B, is that we want them to help us cook our books as well by buying Garnacho for stupid money.
Yeah, but what's stupid money? You know, stupid money is 100 million for Garnacho. Sensible money is 40 million. You know, and if they can maybe push 50, then push 50. But whoever buys Garnacho is going to be helping us because he didn't cost us any money. You know, if they're going to pay 50 million for Garnacho and we're going to pay 60 million for Ollie Watkins, I don't really have a problem with that. But knowing United, they would buy Watkins for the 60 million and wouldn't be able to sell Garnacho. And then we're stuck with both of them. You know, I don't have much faith in the transfer dealings at the moment. And you've got to think about the fact that the season starts in 3 weeks. How long does it take United to do, how long does it take United to do a deal? If you know, we wanted Delap, he didn't get him. Gyökeres was maybe a pipe dream. That's out the window now. All of a sudden, you know, we've got Sesko available for 60.6 million or whatever it is. What's a special club? A special club that's not in Europe, a special club that finished 15th, is a special club a team that got beaten by Tottenham, is a special club a manager who nobody knows if he's going to be there after Christmas. Are Newcastle a special club? Are Arsenal more special than Man United? Why didn't that deal get put over the line? If that's the price, 60.6, isn't that cheaper than what Gyökeres just went to them for? So, you know, there's bullshit going on as usual. All we can do is talk about it, and we're going to suffer. I just see us suffering, man. We've got the Mbumo and we've got the Cunha, and we are happy. But, you know, this forward one, I don't want to go into the season with a certain man up front. I really, really hope that we don't. But I could see it happening and them turning their efforts to somewhere else. I mean, what strikers are out there at the moment? Everybody's 60 million. For whatever reason, everybody seems to be 60 million. We have to look for something cheaper.
Well, Rebel, we can't hear you, mate. So,
oh, my bad.
Pump up the jam, pump up the volume. Like they will be at Crow Park. Just by the way, Rebel, I saw one of my Irish friends today. She's off to Crow Park. Big game on, apparently. Kerry against. Yes. Yeah.
Hang on.
She said to me, which really surprised me, because I thought, obviously, Ireland's not part of Great Britain, but she said to me, 120,000 people will be in the stadium. It's amazing, isn't it? It's bigger than Wembley, bigger than Old Trafford. So, yeah, big stuff going out there. Mr. B and Rebel, what I'd say is this. Look, we have our preference, don't we? When we look at the availability, we've got Watkins, and you talk about Sesko as well. Now, we all have our preferences about what we prefer, what we think is good value for money. But at the end of the day, it's what the scouts and what the manager and the team at Man United feel is the best value. So when you're saying we can't afford Sesko, but we can afford Watkins, maybe it's more a case of we would prefer Watkins over Sesko. Now, we might think Sesko, yeah, potential, he's going to do this. But when you really break it down, he hasn't done it in the Premier League. At international level for Slovenia, big up Boris from Love Island, but at international level, he's done okay. I saw him against England. He's done okay. Didn't look completely outstanding. I've seen young players of his age maybe be a bit more progressive than him when we look at players like Haaland when we look at players like Isaac as well. Isaac at that age, he wasn't really smashing it at Sociedad, wasn't scoring an abundance of goals, but he's a different kind of player. He's come to the Premier League and performed. So maybe there's a question mark about Sesko. And you know what it's like with Man United. We wait until they come to a club and prove it, and then we say, they can do it. We don't want to take the risk of taking someone, who might be able to do it with Sesko. So I'm not doubting him. I'm not putting doubts on him. But I'm saying if there's an issue, maybe it's to do with Watkins will do the business. It's proven, and Sesko is a bit of a risk for the value of money what they're asking for him. Maybe that's to do with it. And we don't see him week in, week out. So my preference would be Sesko, younger, looks like he got potential. Ralph Rangnick endorsed him, but I think if you're the manager and you're thinking we need to progress, Watkins is doing the business. I can imagine him linking up with Mbeumo and Cunha as well. It would look really attractive and really powerful as well. That would really work. And some bringing in Sesko with the pressures that you have, as you've seen with Rasmus Højlund coming in for 70 million, the pressure of that price tag coming from another league, having to adapt to Premier League. We got the time to really see if Sesko can jump in. Maybe he will do it. Maybe he can do it. I just don't know. But I just feel sometimes you have to say to yourself, maybe it's not a case of we can't afford him or we don't value him yet. He has to go and prove it elsewhere before we, as a big club, Man United, take that risk and sign him. But preferably, we want to do the business soon. I just want to say this as well. Don't sleep. Because Mr. B said earlier, oh no, I don't want to start the season with -9. Obviously, Rasmus. But it could be a case of, do you remember halfway through the season when Rasmus wasn't playing well and Xerxes started playing until he got injured, started ahead of him, and he was doing the business a little bit. He's looking like, okay, with a run of games, he's getting slightly better, getting to know his teammates. They started to realise what Xerxes' game's all about. I got to the part of the season where he was starting over Rasmus, and then you can see players using him, knowing how he plays his game. Pass into his feet, you're going to get it back. Run off him, he's going to get it back. He's going to flick it, he's going to hold it up. That's the sort of thing. So I think a bit more confidence in Xerxes. Don't write him off and just think, oh, we're going to start with -9. We might be starting with Xerxes, and he might do something with these players around him. You know, when we bought Dwight York and Andy Cole was having problems with Cantona didn't really, feel him. And then Teddy Sheringham comes in. It's like, oh, God, not my best mate. And suddenly York comes in and they could create something. I think it could be the same with Xerxes, with Cunha and Mbeumo as well. Not trying to say it's a black thing or they're brothers or anything like that, but you never know. They might be able to get along and play together. And that's what I'm hoping to see. So don't write off Xerxes just yet.
Do you know, I was only thinking there, maybe it's a blessing in disguise that we're having woes with attracting the striker that we want, because we've talked about it a lot since the season closed. But there's a gaping hole in the centre of midfield. And we've obviously talked about our dream target that we'll never get. But maybe it's looking at that profile of player within the price bracket that we have and making sure that we make the necessary sales to get in someone that will cover and solidify the back of the engine room and will allow Bruno to do what he does without being, I suppose, caught on a break. Is the striker issue, the fact that we're down to option 7, is it now time to move to that centre midfield role, lock that down and cause a window?
Look, we know we need to fill that position. But look at me and Miss B, like we're both doing that. It's obvious. Yeah, we do need to get a midfielder in probably, and someone who can do the business. But it's just a case of who is that guy. And when we look at the striker options, they're all like pretty good options. But I'm not quite sure with the options that are coming up with the midfielders. Obviously, we've got Douglas Luiz. That's been put out there, and I think, all right, he's at Aston Villa. Villa reject. Is he a Villa reject? Was he good? He was a good player for them. But what's happened? How come Juve don't want him? Are we taking another reject? I don't know. But I've seen what he does. He's a good player. He would be a good fit. But are we desperate, or should we be waiting for the right player to come along? I know the other day you two were sort of drooling over the Brighton young man who's big and strong and does his business in the midfield. You really like him, but he's not available. Probably not available at the moment. So if we are going to get someone in, rather than pay 50 million like we did on Ogate and everyone's disappointed with, You know, why not just wait around and get the right player in rather than just spending money because we need it right now? I know that Arsenal needed a striker for the last 2-3 seasons, but they didn't go out and splash the money on someone until they were ready, probably to get the right guy. And they'll be proven to be right by having that patience rather than just spending because it's a window's open. Doesn't automatically mean you have to spend money, as Liverpool found out last season. Window was open. Doesn't mean you have to go and spend money. Just you have to get the right person in, you know. So midfielder, yes, we do need one. The selection I'm seeing right now doesn't really sort of turn me on that much. I'd like to see more options before I say, yeah, that's the one.
You did mention Douglas Luiz, so I might as well bring this up. Fabrizio Romano, Douglas Luiz wants to go back to the Premier League this summer as a priority. His relationship with Juve is broken, and he will surely leave now. Agent is in Italy to assess all his options. Now, obviously, there's a young man by the name of Jadon of the Sanchos that there's been more episodes than Murder, She Wrote on his transfer saga at this point. And we're keen to move him on. Juve now at this stage may be keen to move Douglas Luiz on. Could it be a match made in hell that we do a swap deal, essentially? And if it is Douglas Luiz as the only midfielder rival, do you feel confident that he is enough to tighten the ship?
Mr. B.
I think we need 2 central midfielders. We need 2, I'll be honest. The only problem with it is we don't have enough games to maybe warrant buying 2. And we still don't. This is, for me personally, I want to know where Kobe's playing. I want to know what position he's fighting for. If he's fighting for the 6, which he won't be, but just say, give him the opportunity to take it. If he's fighting Bruno for his position, give him the opportunity to be the box-to-box player. Cunha and Mbeumo have come in. I don't really see anybody, you know, I would like to think that the first Premier League game, those 2 are playing. You know, I don't want to see Mount starting. I don't want to see Ahmad starting there. Those are our 133 million pound superstars. So I expect them to be starting. Yeah, I would like another central midfielder. But we've got 38 games plus cup games this year. I'm just not sure if we're gonna get Douglas Luiz price-wise would probably be the one, and I think that'll be more to do with price. I like Luiz, but as Yaba said, he had bare muscle injuries last season. Was it because he wasn't playing and then being thrown into action? Was he not physically ready? Was he not physically preparing himself body-wise? Was he not doing the right things at home? You know what I mean? There's a lot of questions that maybe we're not going to know the answer to. Maybe Italian life just didn't suit him, you know, and he didn't have the motivation to play. But
it's like living in a foreign country here, Rush.
But here's the thing, though. Your favorite player, Scott McTominay, is like an Adonis in Napoli. He's got murals next to Maradona over there. He succeeded. But Douglas Luiz, who arguably you would have considered as slightly better, was never made it over there. So is there something missing in his psyche that has taken him away from football? Because you're looking at a lesser player in some views, basically carving a path to fame for himself. And he's not going to be coming back to England anytime soon. They love him over there.
Well, it's a good question, Rebel. I just want to say a big up to all the chat going with these Michael Jackson puns. They've been making me laugh watching them on the sidelines there. But yeah, look, Douglas Luiz, I didn't know that, Mr. B. You mentioned there he's had muscle injuries. That's probably why he wasn't playing consistently for Juve. It hasn't worked out for him. But I must admit, when he was at Villa, he looked like a decent player. Looked like he had something about him. but there's always something. There's always buts when it comes to these guys, and there's a huge question mark if he's got injury problems. And why did Villa let him go if he was so valuable? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why would they let him go?
Well, that was a PSR issue. That one.
Oh, is it?
They did, yeah. I was talking to my cousin and
Of course,
obviously
yeah.
my Villa supporting brother, and they were saying that was a PSR. That's not the player that they wanted to go. So when he left, that's when they bought Onana in it, because they still needed that player, but they would have rather kept Luis. But obviously they had, as Rebel was talking about, cooking books. They needed to do something to get some money into the club to be able to stretch it a little bit more.
Do you think Onana is better than Douglas Luis?
Douglas Luis was really, really good before he left Villa. And I would take Onana because he's better than what we've got. But from what Luis is more controlled on the ball. Obviously, he doesn't have Onana's physical stature. And maybe we need that Joe Linton type in the centre of the park. But from what I remember, Luis was a more gifted footballer than Onana.
Okay. Just to clarify, we need a midfielder who's going to sit as a 6, break up the play, make tackles, bring the ball out,
create, score goals.
Create. You want all that as well?
No. I don't see. I don't think
need?
that we do. I think we need a one. He needs to be pressure resistant for one. And be able to pass. Agate can't pass shit. And that's the problem that we have. When the ball hits Agate, they let him have it because they know he's going to give it away, or he's going to sit down and wait.
So who in world football would you say, name a player that fits the criteria that you've been saying?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Okay.
You're asking, honestly, I couldn't even begin to say to you, we need this first. I'm not. I don't.
You mentioned the Brighton guy. You mentioned the guy. Is he?
Yeah, but that's because I've seen. Yeah, but I've seen him play. Yeah, man. He's tough in the tackle. He doesn't waste the football. That's what we need. Somebody who doesn't waste. I mean, look, man. Agate, you saw what was it, the West Ham game? We did it, and then they just pushed him over, pushed him over, and he was on the floor, and they went in and scored. We don't need that. You know, there's gonna be games when we're gonna need the destroyer, but if we're going into, we really want somebody ahead of Agate, and I don't know who it's gonna be, but for the season we need somebody who can control the football a lot more than he does.
There's a lot of work to be done in Manchester United Football Club in the transfer sense, but I do want to jump over to something that boiled my you-know-what when I saw it. And I want to share this. So Manchester United, having secured government funding to regenerate the area around Old Trafford, now have the gumption to look at instilling a policy that would charge $4,000, not for a season ticket, but for the opportunity to possibly get a season ticket in their new stadium. This is the sort of malarkey and carry-on that has been commonplace in the area where those two eggheads on the right are from, in the NFL, in Major League Baseball. And it's called a personal seat license over there. So not only do these men have the bollocks to ask the government for a handout, they now want to turn around, drop their drawers, and take a big giant shit on the ordinary Manchester United football match-going fan by asking them for $4,000 to possibly buy a ticket. In what harebrained world are these Martians living? Because, first of all, the bloody thing looks like a fucking tent that Fawcett Circuits would be held in. And now their broke asses, once again, are trying to hit the fan where it hurts. It is a despicable, disgusting, putrid structure that I think if they have the bollocks to bring it in, there should be a marching on the gates, because they may as well close them because the club will be gone a step too far. It would be the only club in England, probably in Europe, to pull this bullshit. And I want to know, is this end game if they bring this in terms of their relationship with the fan base?
Look, let me say this. I hear what you're saying, and a lot of frustration right now with finances and the way the world's going. I mean, I heard something in the news the other day, which really made me laugh. That the British government, and this is the same applies here. This would upset the fans, everyday fans. The British government will monitor people to say if you go abroad more than 3 times in a year, so the 4th time you go abroad, they're going to pull you up and say to you, what's going on, and check your finances and what kind of thing. So thinking, thank God we're not in Europe, so we weren't, going away games and that kind of thing. And that's really upsetting because you say, why are you getting involved? The government getting involved in people's business and restricting us, and the cost of living is so high. I mean, you want to be starting something. With this thing, Michael Jackson pun there, but it's crazy how the world's going at the moment with all this stuff. And then you're hearing this from Man United. It's nothing new. It reflects on all areas of life, cost of living, and seeing things like this is ridiculous. Basically, they're saying $4,000, it doesn't guarantee you a ticket or a season ticket, but you can put yourself in line. I mean, who's got that sort of money? The everyday fan wants to go and support their club. We work hard. You got me working day and night, as they say in my dad. And you're working hard day and night, whether you're in Asda like our man Andy, and doing nights stacking shelves just to get a ticket, and then you end up seeing $4,000, and you think, how the hell am I supposed to do that? And if you do that, and you're on universal credit or something, then people will ask questions about what are you doing, how you earn this sort of money. You could be on PIP, and not PYT, as in Michael Jackson. PIP, you could be on PIP, and how are you going to get a ticket? For the game, put down $4,000 for the right to sort of maybe get a ticket. It's a joke. Really, really upsetting. It's really depressing as well. I don't know what the world is coming to, but it's making it harder and harder for people to work and earn sort of money to feed their families, let alone go to a football match and let off some steam and enjoy your football club. So it's really, I hear what you're saying. It's heartfelt what you said there, Rebel. Totally agree with you. It's really, really bad. And it's just going to upset fans as well. And it's going to restrict real fans from attending games. And you're just going to end up getting all these big wigs with their big old mobile phones, or what like it used to be, yuppies, or with the mobile phones, or as Roy Keane said, prawn sandwiches. I mean, that was a brilliant line, and it resonates today because you can see those are the sort of people that will be attending games. It's a joke, really. You want to have community with the club. That's what builds the club, and you're isolating all these proper fans from actually attending the stadium. So I'm very disappointed with that, and I just think something needs to be done to get real fans involved. Otherwise, you're going to lose the whole spirit of the club.
By the way, Mr. B, just to add something to it, this new stadium, they're talking about hopefully having it in place for the 2031-32 season.
I might not see it. You know what I mean? They haven't even started building. They haven't even started knocking down nothing. It's a pipe dream, I suppose. And the fact that the government are in it 100%. United are now trying to find ways of or the Glazers and Ratcliffe are trying to find ways of maybe not having to dip in their own pocket, which I still don't understand. If the man is worth how much billion, I still don't know his love of the club and his this and that. And man, he ain't gonna last too much longer, man. If you want to have your legacy, do what you're doing, innit? Because you can't get buried with your money. You know what I mean? You've come in there with your big chest. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. All he's done is piss people off. Let's be honest. From half of the players to, they speak about the low morale that was there at the end of the season, and now with this, £4,000. £4,000 what, to reserve a seat? Some can. It's just it's another money making scheme. But I guarantee you, all of these people moaning, we can't afford it. You know, maybe everybody who's watching it now can. I have no idea. I can't afford it. I know Yabba can't afford it. I know Rebel can't afford it. I would assume that I would say maybe 95% of the people in the chat probably can't afford it. But there's going to be people out there who will put down their money, put down the £4,000. Do you know what I mean? And that's where the problem starts. It's not that it's impossible for everybody to do. It's impossible for me to do it. It's impossible for a few of us. But there's people out there who will do it. And those are the people that they're targeting. I said, you've said it already. It's now going to be a different, you know, like the Arsenal stadium. They're talking about it losing its soul. You know, the proper fans aren't there. And that's what it'll be. You know, the Stretford End will no longer be the Stretford End. It will be called something else in the new stadium with tourists in there who are just coming there to yam popcorn and ready to go to the View Cinema and eat their Nando's afterwards. They haven't come to watch the football match. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's going to be that will be an issue. But what you do, I wanted a new stadium. I'm not going to lie. I love Old Trafford. I haven't been as much time as I would like to, but you want a shiny new toy, you know, and that is going to come out as a cost, yes. But £4,000 plus they're talking about naming rights. I heard one figure today that would just buy this stadium. No,
they want Tesla to come in to be the shirt sponsor.
So they want Tesla to come in,
allegedly, and there's mootings of $2 billion to come in, get the shirt deal and the name rights to the stadium.
So they would basically sponsor Man United forever for $2 billion, because that buys the stadium, right?
Essentially, yeah. 90% of it anyway. Get another couple of tech firms in there, that'll do the communications, and you probably have it paid for. But you know, though, Mr. B, and I want to take it back to a human level. The disgusting part of it all for me is the likes of the Busby family and a few United legends have had their season tickets taken away from them. They didn't want them for free. They just wanted to be able to get their season ticket, and they've been whipped away from them by the club. So we're pretty much ripping the soul of our club out and hanging it out to dry. But the curious thing for me now, Mr. B, is there's £800 and odd million that is falling due in the next 18 months. We know that the club isn't going to be able to generate that money because of the transfers and our ability to earn that money. So are we going to see this Tesla deal be the thing that bails Johnny Glazer out of their fiscal hump and essentially keeps them with Manchester United Football Club until we all join everybody in the big party house in the sky?
What was it?
Just give me an up. What the Tesla deal? What do you mean by that?
So essentially, Tesla would take over as shirt sponsor, and they would also then have the right to name the new Old Trafford, and they would basically be the key sponsor for Manchester United Football Club going forward.
Who owns Tesla?
Elon Musk.
Oh, fucking hell.
You know what? I'm not going to say enough words. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to hear no more Tesla. He owns Tesla. As
amongst other things.
Tesla related to the scientist Tesla from back in the day?
No, the cars.
Yeah, but is that related to Nikola Tesla? Is it?
Who's Nikola Tesla?
I know who Monday's talking about, the scientist.
Nikola Tesla, the scientist who had free energy and using the ether and all that kind of thing.
Did they kill him and take his ideas?
Well, yeah, he died mysteriously.
Oh, shit,
And
sorry.
he had
You know,
70.
actually, I said
He
that
had
as a joke. Sorry, go
yeah, he
on.
had 70-odd ideas, and they only found 50. And
Yeah,
it's like
no.
reusable. They've used this stuff, but who knows about that? But I just don't wear Elon Musk. For me, come on, man. I mean, anyone, like you see these mad billionaires in movies and mad scientists. Like I was watching Superman the other day, like Lex Luthor, or all these crazy scientists and everything. For me, it's like a no, thank you. You can keep your logo, you can keep your Tesla, because Tesla cars always end up exploding on you, apparently, don't they? Apparently, allegedly. That's a no. I just can't. We just, our club's just going to pot, becoming too commercialized with all these sort of people taking over.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice. And Stephanie says Elon Musk is a fragrance.
Yaba, I'd like you to welcome you back to the planet of the realistic, and join those of us that are grounded here on planet Earth in realizing that we are in an absolute state. Welcome to the club.
Yeah,
it's taken. I think it's actually. How long we've been on the channel? Since lockdown.
2.5 years.
Imagine that is a hallelujah moment.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, look, I don't like to get involved in the business side of things. I just like football. I like the game of football. I want to see a beautiful game. I want to see us enjoy it. The other side of things, when it starts to take over our shows and take over all our thinking, everything, that's where I don't enjoy it anymore. I don't enjoy it. I just want to see our football team play a good brand of football without that element of it. I just want to turn my back to it and ignore it. But you can't get to the point now where you can't ignore it anymore. And it's just taken over. And when the fans, like we said, because the whole premise of this is the fans are being sort of pushed out with all this sort of big money that they're putting out there, I just want to enjoy the football. I want to enjoy it. Like when we started the show, we saw the intro, saw all these lovely goals, beautiful goals. That's what I'm here for. That's what I want to enjoy. The business side of things stinks. It's very musky, as they say in the comments there. It's not cool. So in the words of Michael Jackson, you think you're bad, you think you're dangerous, but we just want you to beat it.
Holmes got here. He would take the 2 billion. It will completely cover the debt at the club.
Yeah, but it also gives the platform then for the two weasels
to start their again. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to come away from raging against the machine, because I think there would be certain lyrics by that band that I would like to direct towards that ownership. But in the spirit of allowing Yabba to basically believe in unicorns again, I'm going to ask, this moment in time with this squad, no further departures, no further incomings, how many points?
Like I said before, I really, Mr. B's not going to hate me for this, but I really think if we can click and get our act together, I think we're not far off pushing on and having a massive, massive improvement on what we did last season. Last season is a blip for me, and I hope it's just I don't think it's... Oh my days, I did it again. Show me your fingers. Who did that? Show me your fingers. Who was it? Yeah. I bet. Wow, guys, you got it 3 times now. That's 3 times, Mr. B. Trust me. Do not give me the controls to this. Or even get control. Rebel, Mr. B. I'm gonna get a meme and I'm gonna put it out there for you. That was ruthless. I'm gonna say this quickly. With the squad we got now, I know we played Leeds the other day. We didn't look all that. I think give it time. We can push on and play a good brand of football. That's what we want to see. That's what the manager's paid for, to play a good brand of football, to score goals, to be defensively secure, and have a midfield which is combative and creative as well at the same time. So can we do that? Yes, we can. We can. I think there's some teams. I just think there's not a team in the league that we cannot beat on any given day. It's not to say that we were so lowly last year that we couldn't beat anybody, because we can. This is the thing, we can. You bring someone to Old Trafford and the fans are up for it and we're playing a good brand of football, we can beat anyone. So that's from Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal. We could be any of these teams on our day. It's just about having consistency and familiarity of what we want to achieve and how the players are playing together, united in partnerships all around the field, and becoming sort of fused as a unit under Amarin. That's what it takes. If we start to do that, I don't see any reason why we can't come in the top 4 next season.
Okay, just I know you're an optimistic guy in it. I get it, but you're saying if we don't sign any players, which is fine, I understand that. But did you see anything? I think we need to see an improvement for us to be finishing even the top, maybe top 8. Even if we don't buy players, there needs to be an improvement in what he's showing or what he's got the players showing us. I understand we've got the 2 10s. I have no idea how they're going to play. I know how they play in my head when they pick up the ball, but where are they going to be on the pitch? These are the little parts, and these are the little things that he needs to work out before. He's had 8 months. He's had 3/4 of a season. So, oh shit, Black Bolt. It's been a long time, boy. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. And that's completely made me forget what I was talking about.
Yeah, big up to Black Bolt. I haven't seen him for ages either. Enough respect to you. Always looking suave with that sort of Harlem Nights cat and all that. But yeah, what do you think? Look, I know you guys, were disappointed. It's really hit hard what happened last season. It's taken a dent on your confidence. You can't even speak up and say we can turn it around. The factors that you said there, Mr. B, and Rebel, is really key. It's about morale. It's about being the hunger. It's about eliminating players, the 5 players that we're getting rid of, and not having them around anymore, and just working hard as well. I think I saw a football coach the other day saying that I'm really key, which I thought at first it didn't catch me when he kept repeating it to his kids and saying you become a better footballer the fitter you are. And it's true. The fitter you are, the better footballer you will become because you can do more, you can last longer, and keep going. So we need to be fit. We need to have morale. We need to understand the system and fuse that together and become a smaller squad, smaller team, and get and have an understanding of what the manager wants us to do. The manager said that last season. He wants every player in every situation in the game to have an understanding of what I'm supposed to be doing at this moment. And if he can do that, and it seems like a lot from what happened last year, but I think if you can do that, we will show dramatic improvement and really shock a lot of teams. Well, shock fans and shock everybody this season by coming higher up in the league, a lot higher with the players that we have currently.
Smaller squad. How much players would you classify as a as a smaller squad? Because obviously from last season we did have Garnacho, Rashford, the 5, but they weren't really in the squad in regards to they weren't available to be playing. What sort of numbers would you be looking? Because you look at our defenders, you look at our mid. Would you be adding? You're going to want to be adding a couple to that, which means you're going to have to be. Is there a figure number wise that you're looking at? Everybody says you want 2 players for each position. Can he go in with a 26-man squad for the season? Maybe try and keep everybody happy.
When we consider we're not in Europe, that's a huge advantage because that's why you have to streamline the squad because we'll be playing maybe once a week or maybe twice a week when it's really holiday period or whatever, or League Cup games, FA Cup games. So a smaller squad for me would be a 22-man squad of players that you wouldn't be surprised you're in the first team. So I want every one of these 22 players, if they're picked in the team, you wouldn't say, oh, that's a shock. You want all these players in the team, apart from the goalkeepers, obviously looking there. So you're looking at the squad here. It's good time in there, Rebel. But look at these. You want to look at every one of these players and say they could start. Each one of them could start, and you wouldn't frown or have any issues with it.
Here's the thing for me now. Yeah, but
you're serious, Yabba, yeah?
Yeah, that's the whole point of having a smaller squad. Every 22-man squad, anyone who's picked, even the you might think the second player in a position, if he's picked, you wouldn't be upset because you say this is a good small squad, like they had with Aston Villa when they won a European Cup in '82. They had a 16-man squad, no 14-man squad. You know what I'm saying? That's really and the smaller the squad, the closer you get with your friendships, and you're out there and you're working harder together, and I think it creates a better atmosphere. So rather you don't get disheartened players who are not getting games. Smaller squad means everyone's likely to get more games, and I think everyone make the morale a lot higher as well. So just looking through the squad here, obviously there's players we want to get rid of, but we don't know who else is coming in. But is this current squad with Mbeumo and Cunha in this?
For me, yeah, but I'm looking at this goalkeeping line. It's a 1 out of 10. I have no faith in it whatsoever. None of them.
Yep.
Looking at the defenders, Dallo, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Maguire, Lisandro, Lenny, Luke, Heaven, Leon.
I think defensively we're stacked. I think defenders wise we're stacked.
I agree with you. I'm happy with that line. Then we come into this, and this is where the shit show starts again. Like outside of Cobby, that's the midfield. Yeah, they're on midfield. That's the entirety of our midfield.
When you see actual picture of it, when you've got it in your head.
Yeah.
But when you physically see how much defenders we've got to how much midfielders we've got, Jesus Christ.
And he's on loan, by the way, Dangor. So he's not there. So it's Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Ugarte, Kobe, and Collier.
And we don't classify. How much of those are central midfielders really? 3.
So in reality, we're looking at Bruno being pushed back deeper, with Casemiro, Ugarte, Collier, and Manu basically being the options.
I'm gonna ask you guys something. Would you play Mason Mount in Ugarte's position?
No.
Why?
Because I think you need somebody there, all right, who's got better attributes, as in what we're looking for earlier. We discussed this earlier. Someone who's a traditional number 6, someone, he said, press resistant, not unselfish, wants to sit in the position, hold a position, and do a job, do the dirty work, And I don't think Mason Mount's talents would be suited for that position. He's more and sort of higher up the pitch, creating things, shooting, scoring goals when he's on form. I just don't think he'd be suited for that role just yet.
Oh,
and then if you come
obviously, go on, Rebel. Sorry, go
on. And then if you and when you look at the squad, it's so imbalanced. Like the only defensive midfielder really that we have is this man. Him, and him are all the more advanced partner. So there's only one person for the 6th role. One. Like, if anything happens to him, that midfield is paper. Like, we're literally going to be relying on Kone to come in and start from the age of 17.
We got 2, Ugarte and Casemiro are supposed to be those 2 guys.
I would say we've got 2. I'm with you, Yaba. I would say we've got 2. Oh, Lord.
And then look at your forward line. Obviously, Cunha and Mbeumo. Is he there? Yeah, he is. They're your 2 10s. Backing them up, then we have Ahmad, who'll also be playing as a wing back. So he's going to be also part of this crew up here. But looking at it, then we're kind of again in a situation where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 players for one spot.
What one spot is that?
The striker, the 9. And none of them are natural 9s, apart from him, Cheeto.
So I think from last season, basically, look, Mateus Cunha has been suggested that he could play there, and Mbeumo has been suggested he could play there as well. So I think you got Rasmus, Cunha, Xerxes, Mbeumo, and Obi, Cheeto, who can all possibly play as the number 9. But we know the 10s with the system, the 10 system would be Ahmad, Xerxes, Cunha, Mbeumo, and that's it, I think. So
right, so you haven't got Mason. So you haven't got Oh, so you got Mount, okay, but you haven't got Bruno, so Bruno's not moving.
It doesn't look like it. I think Bruno's going to be playing a lot deeper.
And this, okay, so this is my point. Okay, then maybe maybe the Agate role. Could you have Mount playing Bruno's position in
Well,
the
you
team?
raised it earlier about Mount playing as a 6. You mean?
Yeah. Well, Bruno's more the 8, right? Bruno would be
Yeah.
more the box to box. Could Mount play Bruno's position?
I haven't considered it, to be honest. I haven't considered that. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's what the manager feels. Like, for example, the manager last season put Kobe Mainoo as a 10 while he was adapting and trying to work things out. This season, it appears he's going to be playing a lot deeper as a 6. So that shows the manager's sort of giving him more time. You have to remember that he's still quite young. So he feels that we felt his attributes weren't suited for a 6. I don't know why we suddenly started saying that, because he was killing it in that position earlier. But he started playing closer to goal as a 10. We thought, okay, that's his spot. Now we got Mbeumo and Cunha in. Sure, there's no room for him in there. So clearly, I think it's a case of Kobe Mainoo is going to be a key player as a 6. So these are the factors I'm talking about when you ask what position we can come in next season in the league. If we can transform these guys and get them playing properly and have we've got a bit of flexibility with position wise, as we saw with Collier and Ahmad playing in different positions against Leeds. And you've got flexibility with the forward line as well. A number of players like Xerxes can play a 9 or a 10. Do you understand what I'm saying? Same with Cunha, same with Mbeumo. So that with a smaller squad and that flexibility to move players around and shuffle the pack and all be comfortable in the position and all understand, like the manager said, what they need to do when they've got the ball in, whether defensively or attacking, with or without the ball, what they need to be doing in every situation, where they need to position. If they can sort that out, I think the manager is onto something and he can start delivering like he did with Sporting. Remember, when he went to Sporting, he didn't deliver the first season, took some time for the players to adapt. Once they got it and understood it, it's like, aha, eureka moment. Suddenly they start performing and they won 2 titles in a row.
I think for your theory to work, though, we need the likes of Saduka Kone and 1 or 2 others from the under-21 team stepping forward and actually being able to be a realistic part of that squad. There's too many broken parts of the jigsaw that we looked at that are still on that senior squad.
You're talking about Kone. Do you really think he's going to get the chance, Rebel? I know, obviously, the manager spoke him up the last, not this preseason, the end of, we went to those games in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Do you think that he has the chance? Do you think it's more going to be desperation in regards to the fact that we haven't bought that central midfielder? Because throwing in a kid at 17 will then, I think midfield, any position at 17 is hard. But the team would have to, I'm not sure the team is strong enough mentally to cope with, keeping up his confidence and keeping a lot of that. I think would have to come from himself, because straight away he's taken somebody's position. He's taken a senior player's position. Somebody who's cost. If it's Casemiro, Casemiro he's on 300. He's won this World Cup. He's won that World Cup. Oh, there we go. He's 19, by the way. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure.
Not won a World Cup.
Sorry?
So Casemiro has not won a World Cup.
Sorry, Champions League winner. Sorry.
No.
What does that do to the team dynamic and the team morale if maybe you feel, in your position that it's being taken by you who's probably not ready? This is where I was talking about the certain positions in the club, and if it's going to be 22 or 26 players
Here's where I'm simulating this, Mr. B. I'm looking at the situation, worst case scenario, that Casemiro gets injured, that Ugarte might be suspended, and it'll be a needs must throw in the event that we do not deliver the midfielder that we needed. Because outside a goalkeeper, that 6'8" axis is probably our weakest position in terms of depth. So, that's where I'm worried about our squad, and that again, it's a bit like maybe the left-hand side of the wing backs. If anything happens to Dorgu, we were relying on the man that's held together by string and bubblegum, Luke Shaw, being fit during the time that Dorgu's not available to us.
And
It
I
is
Diego
don't
quite,
think
Leon.
I don't think Luke Shaw plays that position. I don't
Amas
think he's
and
good.
Diego Leon.
But you know what?
well,
We're rude, you know. Just
Yeah. Big up Black
just
Hole.
there you go. He sent in that $5. Top teams sent in the super chat. Top teams are making massive improvements. We are barely keeping our heads above the water. Great show. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, Rebel. My head's gone again, don't you?
yeah, but the only thing and again, Diego Leon, I think it's unfair to expect him to hit the ground running. It's a similar situation to Coney's situation, except obviously Leon is straight into the senior profiles. But again, you're expecting a young man that's been brought over from another country that has never played in the top of European football in any of the leagues, and you're expecting him to dig out our one and only really senior option in that position, unless we give a chance to Harry Amas, and what they're saying in the Athletic is Amas is going to be loaned out because they want to give the opportunity to Leon if it arises.
Yeah. I think it's great to see. But if you're hearing that, Leon's obviously come in, and already they're saying he's jumped ahead of Amas, based on what you're saying that Amas could go and loan. Leon looks like a special player, and it's really great to see him come in. We should be really getting excited about him playing some games next season. Same with Kone. I know we got an opportunity. Big up to this pre-season tour that's starting. They're out in the States now, I think. We got an opportunity to see players like Kone and make an assessment, a better assessment. 19 years old. I'm hearing in the chat that he's too small, or he's 1.76 or something. That didn't stop certain players in the past in that position. You've got Makalady is short. Who's the guy for Leicester? Won the league with Leicester. Went to Chelsea. French guy. Konate, yeah, tiny little player, but gets around the pitch, pinches the ball, and knows how to play the role really well. So I'm all for it to get these players in. Once they're part of the setup and part of the in and around the first team, you should be able to take a player out like a piece of the puzzle and put them in, and they should know what their role is and what their job is. No matter whether they're 19 or whether they're 33, like Casemiro, they should be performing. And this is what a team, as Mr. B, you're stepping up as a manager. You're managing the first team of your club now that everyone's saying is West Ham because of your badge. But you're going to have to do that as well. You're going to have to bring in players who, Tottenham till I die, new member, respect you. You're going to have to bring in players, and whether you've got any bias about size or age or whatever, you want them to be able to do the job. You want them to be able to come into your side on Saturdays and do the job and not have any bias there, Mr. B. Do you have bias? I don't know. Do you about age? Are you age biased? Are you size biased in your league? Do you have any restrictions, or do you think anyone can do the job?
First things first, I'm going to shout out to Tottenham till we die. He's a new member. Big up for that, brother. You now have the chance to win a Manchester United shirt. Size, do you know what? I'll be honest. I did have, because I know how I want my team to play.
Yeah.
I've tended to just give instructions, and if the person does the job, they tend to keep their place. What I don't do is bullshit. If a man's trying, a man's trying. But I just don't like the lack of respect from players on the pitch. That's the only thing that really, really bothers me. I know my playing style. I've been doing it long enough. I feel the players, to be fair, have been with me a little while, so they understand. This season, obviously, we're going to need to look at a few more players, and it's just if they're good enough, getting them to understand what I want them to do. But I think it'll be all right. I'll be honest. I think I'll be all right. I'm looking forward to the challenge.
I do have a small bit of an update that Fabrizio Romano brought us.
Is it good news?
Watkins is not for sale at the moment. He has a very important offer to make. It has to be a very important offer to make Villa allow his departure. In other words, you're going to have to overpay, and essentially, I think that closes the book on any striker for Manchester United. But we have been going at this for 1 hour, 10 minutes. I am going to bring this up one last time because it is quite important. You did mention that you have a chance to win a Manchester United jersey with your number on the back if we get to the 4K subscriber mark before the start of the season. But now, more importantly for Dermot, he has the opportunity to win a Brian Robson signed jersey. So, a little bit of history. And if he does want to give that to his fellow Irishmen, if he does win it, all donations are accepted.
Did you know I was born in Kerry?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you could Dermot. You don't have to give it to Rebel. He's not the only one, the only Irishman here, mate. I tell you.
Mr. B,
Yeah.
Mr. B, is that true?
No, it's not bloody true. I would have told you that a long time ago. Me born in Kerry. I would have been over with Rebel, mate. I tell you, we would have already been pissed up on the Guinness a long time ago, bro. No. I just want to win the shirt. I'll be honest. I just want to win the shirt.
Can I just say, guys in the chat really enjoyed the chat. I mean, a lot of jokes and going on, and a lot of Michael Jackson puns and movie puns. Look, we're here for fun. I really enjoyed the show, and that down to you guys in the chat as well. Thanks so much.
Yes. There you go. Tomorrow, obviously Saturday, we've got our game against Leeds. Midnight, Sunday night, Monday morning.
Leeds?
Not Leeds, bloody. Oh, sorry, not Leeds. Who have we got on the weekend? West Ham. So yeah, we'll probably get a preview done at some stage. And we will be back tomorrow for the Premier League mix zone. We'll be talking all things on Man United probably, but yeah, we'll talk Liverpool, we'll talk the Isaac situation. Obviously, we'll talk about Arsenal as well, finally getting the Gyökeres man and anything else that pops up tomorrow. So if you are free tomorrow, I keep saying that you're more than welcome to jump on and chat. If not, just watch for the hour. And then, God, we got West Ham. I mean, so interesting to see what team gets put out against West Ham. But yeah, I'm not wearing the jumpers. Yeah, you keep thinking that. That's all right. I am titanium. You know better than that. I'll leave
Mr.
it.
B,
to
you got any spare kits?
Have I got any spare kits?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
What to give away?
Oh shit. Yeah, I could do. I've got. I'm with. I may as well put it out there. I'm gonna get the channel to sponsor our first team this year.
Yeah.
So I could get a first team kit with the agenda. Get an extra one on that. To be fair,
we need to get £400 for a kit. And I'm thinking, well, why not just ask someone if they've got any spare kits? Anyway.
Is that what you mean? Listen, man, we'll talk, man. We don't need to talk, man. We'll chat, man. Okay. We'll chat. All right.
Gentlemen, it has been a fun Thursday evening. Obviously, I have bigger fish to fry in that the All-Ireland final is on this Sunday. Come on, the kingdom! Get in! And it's probably the only possible trophy that I will be seeing won by any of my teams this year. So, to quote Doc Brown, roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. This has been the Man United agenda. Good night.
Thank you.